So you're in the NFL and you're around the NFL and your whole life, right? You've dreamed of coaching in the NFL and man, you work your way up. You're an offensive assistant at Louisville and you keep climbing the ladder. And somehow, some way, about 10 years, 12 years after you start, you become the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. How about that? Under your buddy Nick Sirianni. And then the Eagles take off over the last couple of years on a young quarterback named Jalen Hurts, and you become a star, and you get a head coaching job. And that head coaching job is in the NFL, your all-time dream. There's only 32 of these. They are owned by billionaires. They are billion-dollar operations. They are the 50 most watched shows every year. Every year. And you get to be a head coach in a great city with Peyton Manning's history. And this is the question that the first idiot of Indianapolis print media asks you. Listen to this idiot question by a complete idiot.
So Shane, heard a lot about you. Heard you're a badass, a tough guy. Up here you're crying like a baby, which I love. Are you a hard ass? Are you an emotional basket case? I happen to like all that, but what are you?
Well,
how about that question? You see, now Doyle, the guy who asked the question, our friend Greg Doyle, fancies himself, he's a boxer, so he thinks he's a tough guy. Really, he's a coward. And I'll never expose him for why he's a true coward. He can do all that, but he's a true coward in every sense of the word when you talk about men and how men should act. I don't care if he boxes the toughest guys in the world. He's a coward, a complete coward, but he wants to come off as a tough guy. So what happened here is Shane Steichen gave an impassioned thank you to his former players. And he named every guy on the offensive side of the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he was crying. He was thrilled. And this idiot, this complete clown, did what I have told you the Indianapolis media is all about. Are you a blubber? Are you a baby? I mean, what an asinine question, but nobody's surprised because this is what happens in Indianapolis. I have told you about this. I mean, you can box everybody that you want to box. You can get in street fights, but a coward is still a coward. And that's exactly what Doyle is. And frankly, he is a guy in the media that I've told you wants to make it about himself. How many times did he say, I like that? Who cares what you like? You're a coward. Dig in. You'll find out. Who cares what you like? This is a press conference, and as a writer, you're getting information. So you think it's a legitimate question to ask a guy, are you a tough guy? Or are you an emotional basket case? But that's indie media. That's what I've tried to tell you. And everybody's afraid to take on Doyle because Doyle will write a hit piece on you, but it's infuriating how stupid these people in Indianapolis are. And you can see by his face, you're like, yeah, okay, man. I mean, who the hell are you? You've never played, you've never coached, you've never done anything but be a coward. So, honest to God, it's not surprising. There's nothing surprising about it. It's who the Indianapolis Star is. Dana Bemba-Hunzinger and Greg Doyle and Matt Galensik. It's who they are. And I'm sure there'll be another hit piece on me coming up. But I don't care. This is ridiculous. What happened here is embarrassing for our city, not embarrassing for the Indy Star because that's who they are. And this guy's got to be like, hey, you people are a bunch of idiots. Period. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him even a little bit. All right? So then, in this blank show of a press conference, through no fault of Shane Steichen, no fault of his own, we've got our lame duck general manager and our crazy owner. So here's what our crazy owner, I guess people said let out of the bag, that he wants to take Bryce Young. Here's Jimmy Irsay.
We're not hiding, no one can shy away from the fact what quarterback means in this league and how we have to look going forward. Where Shane and Chris really, dig into this draft and really see where you're at. Do you stay put? Do you trade up? There's many things you can do. They took Jalen in the second round. So, trade back. So, he likes picks.
That'll be a Twitter freaking quote.
he likes picks. Although the Alabama guy doesn't look bad, I tell you. But it'll be exciting, and I think that shows that we have talent here. Those games, so we're looking forward to Shane really coming in and utilizing that talent.
All right, so now, of course, even today, when I saw on McShay's board here, now he's got Bryce Young going to the Colts. Look, you got to understand something about the Colts. You got to understand this. Jimmy Irsay doesn't care, and that's why I really like Jimmy Irsay. I love the fact that Jimmy Irsay decided he wasn't going to give in and hire Jeff Saturday, and this is his hire, period. So I love that fact. I do. I think that fact is beautiful. Okay? That's number one. Number two, he does not care. Jimmy Irsay could care less whether or not, I don't know, you say to him, hey, Jimmy, what are you doing? You just gave it away that we're looking at Bryce Young. Jimmy Irsay's response, I'm sure, would be, well, I mean, everybody's looking at Bryce Young. Leave me the hell alone. I own it. Seriously. That's what it would be. That's what makes Jimmy Irsay great. Did he slip up? No. No, and the giggling guy over there, the most uncomfortable guy in the room, continues to be and will always be Chris Ballard. Chris Ballard does love picks. Chris Ballard thinks that picks are important. Chris Ballard then makes the wrong pick. And the Colts don't make the playoffs. It's just the way the world works. But it was an interesting day yesterday in Indianapolis as they got their new head coach, Shane Steichen. Good for him. I hope he does well. I'm a Colts fan. I'm wearing my Colts gear. You kidding me? But man, oh man, I've told you, and you got a little look at it. Our indie media is all about themselves. They're cowardly, they're stupid, they're remedial, and you saw it there. I'll tell you this is going to be interesting. A defensive coordinator named Jonathan Gannon is now going to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let's be honest. You got two teams here that just hired coaches that don't have quarterbacks. They do not have quarterbacks. The Colts, who's the quarterback? If I were going to say to you Colts fans, and I know there's a bunch of you watching this right now, if I was going to say to you, Colts fans, who is the Colts quarterback? What would your answer be? What would your answer be? Would you have an answer? Would you say Matt Ryan? I don't think you'd say Matt Ryan. Would you say Foles? Ellinger? I think Ellinger will be off the roster by the time we get going. If I were going to say to you in Arizona, who's your quarterback? Who is your quarterback? What would you tell me? Would you tell me it's Kyler Murray, even though he's hurt? Who would it be? Who would it be? I don't know. I don't know who it would be. Maybe it's Colt McCoy. But now, see, Guy can have the best credentials as a young coordinator, all right? But if he does not have a quarterback, I don't care. It's the reason Eric Bieniemy apparently can't get a job. Like, if I were looking at Eric Bieniemy or I were looking for a coach and I was going to get an offensive coordinator, I'd have to talk to Eric Bieniemy. Jason Whitlock did an interesting thing on Eric Bieniemy. He can't get a job because he can't sell himself. You got to be able to sell yourself. You know, and I don't know, maybe the domestic violence thing in the past is a deal. I saw some woke-ass lady on Yahoo who always writes about all the injustices in the sporting world. She's never been involved in sports in her life. Had a big article today about Eric Bieniemy and how exhausting it is that Eric Bieniemy doesn't get a job. Well, I got to tell you, if I'm interviewing Eric Bieniemy and I don't think he's the right guy for the job or I don't like the way he goes about his business, I ain't hiring Eric Bieniemy. I don't give a damn if he's white, black, green, or purple. How many diversity hires have we seen gone awry? In fact, I think tomorrow we'll have the Diversity Hire Olympics. Pete Buttigieg, what a hire. That guy that's supposed to be on the border, Manassas, whatever his name is, what a hire. The luggage stealer, what a hire. Screw diversity hires if I'm the boss. I don't care. I'm hiring the best person. And I've said on this show from the get-go, I'm so lucky that I was brought up in a place where everyone was treated equally. Not great, by the way. Not everybody was treated great. You go to Junedale Little League, hey, I went to West Side High School as about a 12-year-old. I got surrounded. I had to figure out who's the smallest guy, run through them. They're going to beat my backside in the bathroom. It ain't always great, but it was people of different colors, different religions, different whatever. We had Serbians over here. We had Mexicans. We had the small farm, African American. We had the whole deal. So I treat everybody the same, and I'm going to hire you the same way. I mean, my God, if the guy, don't people have to start asking, why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting hired? As opposed to, why aren't you hiring Eric Bieniemy? Yo, Eric, why aren't you getting hired? I mean, you're the offensive coordinator on the most dynamic offense. Watching the Super Bowl, you had walk-in touchdowns on great plays. Why isn't anybody hiring you? As opposed to, hey, why aren't you hiring Eric Bieniemy? That's the way I look at it. So guys get jobs, and off we go. Guys in Indianapolis had to deal with an idiot. Now they'll move along. And the idiot that he dealt with will now bend over backwards to make sure that Shane Stenchen understands that Doyle likes him, because that's what you do. You do a hit piece, you do something stupid, and then you do a bunch of puff pieces. We saw it and we'll always see it. In Arizona, this guy's future is tied to Kyler Murray. Jonathan Gannon's future is tied to Kyler Murray, and it's tied to Kyler Murray, period. Now, if I were the guy in Indy, I want Jimmy Irsay to be right. I'm saying, hey, Ballard, screw your picks. Your picks haven't been any good. Your picks have been mediocre at best. Only 2 picks were ever any good, and they're not good anymore. Quentin Nelson and frickin' Darius Leonard or Shaq Leonard. That's it. That's all. The rest have stunk. I don't care about your picks. We need players. Look at Kansas City and the Chiefs. They got guy after guy after guy after guy. Oh, by the way, we got to go get Kadarius Toney. Oh, by the way, we need him. Oh, by the way, in the 6th round, we're going to get Isaiah Pacheco. Oh, by the way, Sky Moore's available in the 2nd round. What do you get? You get playmakers. So Jimmy Irsay, I salute you by putting it out there. Thank God. Seriously, thank God somebody put it out there that, hey, look, I want you to take Bryce frickin' Young, and that's it, period. Hey, thanks for watching Don't At Me with me, Dan Dakich. Make sure to like, subscribe, or click the notification bell for more of my beautiful face. Check out my full show to my right, or watch this other video. See ya.